Questlove Show is a production of iHeartRadio. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Questlove Show. And a few weeks back, I did a one-on-one episode with Pasta News of De La Soul, the legendary De La Soul. And I want to thank you all for the comments and the shares and the likes and all those reviews. As I stated, I always wanted to have Maseo on for his own episode. And here we are in iHeart Studios in New York, making good on that promise. So basically, over the next few weeks, just so we can let you know what's happening, we're doing something just a little bit different here on the show. And we have teamed up with Levi's. And they have a Behind Every Original campaign. And the name basically says it all. It's us talking to artists who charted their own path. People didn't want to wait for permission, didn't follow the blueprint, especially when things got hard. And they came out on the other side, really, having left an actual indelible mark on the culture. And Levi's has been the uniform for people like that for over 150 years now. Extraordinary people who built their whole career on their own terms. So it only makes sense that they be behind this as well, right? This is the first of 3 conversations we're calling The Making of an Original, and dovetail perfectly into my plans to speak with Maseo as a producer, DJ, and a bigger-than-life personality, a living hip-hop legend. Maseo and his group are self-made, and we're here to talk about De La Soul and much more. Plug 3, Maseo, my cousin Vinny. Welcome to the Questlove Show. Maseo.
My brother.
What goes on, sir?
I love the intro. Thank you.
Okay, so there's a lot that you've done, pioneered, just as yourself in this group, that most people don't acknowledge. One is that the idea of the DJ actually having a voice on wax. Furious 5 would address Flash 2 times. You just hear the band go off. Public Enemy famously made Terminator X silent. I later found out, because he has the nerdiest voice of all time, that was one of the smartest.
You said it, not me.
Business. Oh no,
that's my man Stormin' Norman.
Yeah, yes, one of the greatest nerds of all time.
Yeah.
But your contributions to the group, like DJs didn't have equal mic time. Of course, in the 90s, of course, Pete Rock would do certain, people that would produce and rhyme at the same time, but it wasn't novelty. It was almost like the DJ's allowed to rhyme too. Like the DJ was just supposed to be in the background. Here's the thing. So I noticed on Doing Our Own Thing and on Peace Porridge, you have some of the greatest intro stanzas, and it never finishes. Because even last night, I was listening to Doing Our Own Thing on the Jungle Brothers album, and it was like, me, Plug 3. I was like, oh, she's what they call Baby. And after all the buddy, there's nothing else.
I know.
Like,
Africa wrote them rhymes for me, too.
Okay. But even on Peace Bars, it was just like 4 lines. But in my head, I'm like, now, yes, legitimately, Afro Connections and Let Me In and all that stuff, you went deeper into it. But, yeah, I was going to say, why was your intro so short? Like, did you not protest that I don't get a 16 like the rest of you guys? Or
First of all, I never really liked my voice. I really didn't, honestly.
You serious?
At that time, too, every time I would speak, Africa, Q-Tip, even Paz, they was like, yo, man, you need to rhyme. You need to rhyme. And then also Paz heard me on some earlier stuff before we became a group.
Right.
When I was a part of another group.
Okay.
And I just never really cared for my voice. But it was these guys.
Because you think you sound goofy.
Yeah, I think I sound.
But you don't know, I hate my voice too, and didn't rhyme since the Do You Want More days. All right, so I'm the nerd that not only studies the records, but I also study the critical acclaim you get, because I love journalism as well. And what I remember distinctively about the 5 mic review of De La Soul is Dead was them saying, and goddamn, like, Maceo's rhyming his ass off for, and me and Tariq were like, what? Maceo can rhyme? And it just so happens like that was one of the earliest examples of like an album getting leaked way earlier than it should have. So somehow we had a connection to get De La Soul is Dead like months beforehand. And actually, you guys didn't know who we were. Like you did a trip to Philly and we're performing and we were like saying all the lyrics and you guys even looked at us like, how do you guys know this shit?
I was tripping. I remember that.
So, yeah, but I mean, for you though, was it hard to talk you into taking so much verses on De La Soul is Dead, or?
The people around me gave me confidence. I think I was surrounded around a strong set of MCs that saw something in me that I didn't see in myself.
Okay.
So and the way we all supported one another, you know, you felt the need to take heed, you know, like, why is he saying this or why is she saying this? There's something I think I need to be listening to, because no one's really making fun of me. They actually really
taking you seriously,
taking me seriously. So let me step into it, especially when I'm feel like I'm being guided by real credible MCs. You know?
So when you're doing your vocals, are you cutting, like when I do that shit, it's like Michael Jackson style. I want to guard in front of me. I want to be in the dark. I want no one watching me. I want everyone out the room.
In the very beginning, a lot of 40 ounces.
Yeah, I was about to say, and it's coconut water, but it does sound like
40 ounces was the courage.
Okay.
And then
oh wait, you talking about the
40 ounces?
Oh, okay. I was just playing this in the background.
Drinking 40s was the courage.
Really?
Yeah, like, you know, alcohol lessens your inhibitions. You know,
because I did wonder, because the thing was, it was like, I think because I have so much respect for Tariq as a wordsmith, and whenever people ask, like, yo, man, you did like 2 verses on the first record, and then what happened? And in my mind, it was just like, Tariq was so advanced math in his craft. I didn't want to insult that.
I feel the same way. I have a lot of regard for the craft.
But the thing is that your wordplay and all that stuff, like, especially on like with Afro Connections and Let Me In, like you kept up with them. Like it was abstract rhyming.
Drez from Black Sheep helped me out with Let Me In. So
nice. Okay.
I can't take full credit for all of that. Dave also helped me with my second verse on Afro Connection.
Afro Connection. Okay. Yeah.
But I think being around them, a lot just rubbed off. Being in the whole native tongue wave of all the MCs that was around at that time. Especially that was also a time period I was hanging out with Grand Poobah a lot.
Okay.
And Poob was putting the battery in my back as well. He's like, Mace, you need to rhyme. And if Grand Poobah's telling you that, come on, man.
Got you. Got you. Especially with hip-hop then, a lot of your verses and your terms are now kind of in the Roots everyday vernacular. Like to this day, when I'm trying to duck somebody, literally, I will respond, Yo, G, Pasa's doing the producing. Which, yo, so this journalist is out here, no. I'm like, Pasa's doing the producing. Like, and we probably dropped Shills No Hills, No Bills No. Like,
oh, man.
Like, we probably stopped doing that maybe, like, right before Phrenology. Like, our expression of, like, oh, shit. It's like, oh, damn, Shills No Hills, No Bills No. Right. Like, it's like a lot of the things that you probably wouldn't think caught on to your fan base. Like, a lot of that shit just became, like, our everyday vernacular. But, yeah, no, your voice was awesome, man. And it gave me encouragement, like, oh, so I just don't have to shut up and play ball. Like, I don't just have to do the music.
You said that to me on a video you made for my birthday. And
I did?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I really appreciated that.
Well,
I really, really did.
It was true, man.
That had meant a lot to me.
That gave a lot of us confidence of those that didn't think they had a voice or any of that stuff. Where were you born?
I was born in Brooklyn. Bedford-Stuyvesant.
Okay.
Same hospital as Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
It's weird because I think on first look, we would look to you. I always thought you were the oldest member of De La Soul.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out you literally are the baby, like the baby
I'm
Huey.
Baby Huey, yeah.
What was your house environment like?
Single parent home, pretty volatile environment. I've been robbed in my childhood. Okay. So a big part of my childhood is doing what we do for a living.
Right.
This had been my dream since I started conceiving this thing. I could say.
Did you have siblings or?
No, one brother, and he's younger than I.
So you were the older brother?
Yeah, I'm the older brother.
Okay.
So that's another thing.
So you had to. Were you the leader?
Yeah, pretty much having to take care of my brother, helping my mother out in different scenarios.
Right.
You know. But yeah, I turned in my 1977 was when I actually saw this thing up close, and I used to get a big wheel every summer.
Remember Big Wheels?
Yeah, I used to get a big wheel every summer. And 78, I didn't want a big wheel. I wanted a DJ mixer. And I had got a DJ mixer for my birthday, and it was a Spear Sonic up and down fader. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, that was the first thing I got. And then my uncle helped me put two component stereos together.
The homemade
my first DJ set.
Right.
Was the component set with the automatic
with no
arm,
belt and
no belt, nothing. My slip mats was
other records.
no, it was other records along with the wax from the Chinese restaurant, with the wax paper.
Smart.
From the Chinese restaurant.
Okay.
So the grease on the
So
wax paper
the
will
traction
help.
of it.
Yeah, will help me slide the records. And also, you know, you played records longer back then. So due to the fact that I didn't have no pitch control, I would play records around the same tempo and kind of drag them or push them a little because I had the wax paper just so I could get the mix in on time. But yeah.
Most people who are not Bronx born that come on the show, I always ask them about, like, as far as their hip hop experiences are concerned, because I think to the outside world, and I'm one of them people, I thought hip hop was just a Bronx thing and a Bronx thing only, like Brooklyn, Long Island, like none of them were doing what they were doing in the Bronx. But I later found out that that's not the case. Like, where would you see like these block parties, and who was the DJ of? What was your come to Jesus moment?
My coming to Jesus moment, Hancock between Marcy and Nostrand, right in the streets of Brooklyn. 231 Hancock Street. They came one day with these DJs. I learned they was DJs that day. These guys were just on my block till they started bringing this equipment out this one summer. And this was the summer after the blackout.
Okay.
The summer after.
Do you remember the blackout of New York?
I remember the blackout in New York. I was scared as hell. Yeah.
How long did it last for?
It was a couple of days. I can't even really remember. It was a few days.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
More than 24 hours?
Yeah, it was more than 24 hours.
And without the internet, how would you know?
And there was a lot of looting that took place. I remember Williamsburg getting destroyed to shit around that time. Remember, a long time, Williamsburg was underdeveloped.
I was going to say,
and that was behind the blackout.
Williamsburg is where date night is for me.
Now.
But
back then, it was a desolate area. You didn't want to be around no time of day or night.
Did people live there, or was it just like...
prior to the blackout, yeah. It was businesses and everything. But when the blackout hit, it was completely destroyed. Destroyed. When I tell you destroyed, it was desolate. Damn. Nothing over there. You weren't even scared to take the train through there. It's nothing.
Because I never heard people give a shout out to Williamsburg
so
ever.
To see Williamsburg to get turned around, like, trust me, a lot of what I see in Brooklyn these days are very shocking to me. You know,
even now as you go through it.
Yeah, Fort Greene. To see people over
have
there,
the greatest pancakes ever.
Yo, see people over there with baby carriages and families and all of that.
Right.
It wasn't that back then.
Okay.
For real. Fort Greene, a lot of people got PTSD from Fort Greene.
Got you.
You know. But these was areas that were not so nice back then.
how did you make the transition to Long Island? Did you ever live in Long Island?
Yeah, I moved to Long Island when I was 14. I had a huge fight in Brooklyn, and the last place I lived before I moved to Long Island was in Bushwick with my grandmother, and I grew up with Bushwick Bill a little bit too. Yeah.
So he was from New York originally?
That's how he got his name. He's from Bushwick, Brooklyn.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You know, and he went to Bushwick High School, and he used to also hang out with these Zulu cats called Zulu Savages. It was a chapter of Zulu that was called Zulu Savages. They basically was the underworld for Zulu Nation.
Okay.
You know, the earners, you know.
Got you. Okay.
But for the most part, I had gotten to a big fight with one of them dudes. His name was Maseo.
Okay.
And everybody was pretty much scared of this dude. I was scared of this dude. But
He was the Debo of...
Kind of, sort of.
Okay.
But he was a Napoleon Debo.
Shorter people.
Short, but with a heart like a shark, you know? And he was a supreme bully. Around this time, I had to been like 12, 13.
Yeah.
At this point, I was on my way to becoming a bit of a tyrant myself because I had some issues that turned me left, you know? So it was no more...
Just in terms of you had to protect yourself?
Yeah, I had to protect myself. So it was no more bullying, Mace. I used to go to Bed-Stuy Boxing Association. I used to go to PAL, so I started developing my hands. I also started getting familiar with the little weapons and all of that here and there.
For you, though, as the oldest, now, usually, like, around my way, if you went outside or whatever, their equivalent of wait till your father gets home is always, well, I'm going to get my brother to fuck you up or my cousin to fuck you up. Like, there's some people that were always protected.
I don't got nobody to go home to for that.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was on and cracking every time. I lived in fight or flight a lot, you know.
That's traumatic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, it was one fight I had with this dude, Maseo, that by the grace of God, I came out on top, you know. But that was the fight. Hindsight, years went by, that was the fight that got me to Long Island. My mom ended up writing her foster parents and her foster father and telling him this story. And I ended up finding the letter later. But come the end of that summer, after that fight, because it was a really big thing, everybody was like, my nickname at the time, to anybody from Brooklyn that calls me Fat Man, know me.
Really?
Really knows me.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was like, he having a fight, fat fight Maseo. And that was a really big thing. Everybody was coming out their house, and I just happened to, I was scared.
How old was he?
I don't know. He had to have been much older. He appeared to be older. So I don't really know.
Right.
I was all but 13. And it was all over a centipede game.
Dude, it's always over video games.
Yeah. I was this was one of the days
Give me one of your men.
I was having a great day.
Right.
I was killing it this day. Any other time, I'm losing. I'm killing it on this quarter this day.
Right.
Getting a free man every time, all that.
Right.
And he came over and he was like, yo, hurry up and get up off of this. And I looked at him like he was just crazy. And I just kept playing. I'm rocking the stores, watching me play.
Right.
You know, when you having a good one, everybody's rallying around you.
I know this feeling well, yes.
He came over a few more minutes later, and he pulled the plug. Instinctively, I just pushed him. Like, what the fuck you doing? I didn't mean to push him, but it was an instinct, like, fuck is on your mind? And then we started going at it, and he pulled out like a spike belt. He had a spike belt on, he wrapped it around, swung on me. I caught it. Next thing you know, I'm on him. The hands I was earning the last 2 summers came to life. And I was lighting his ass up. And everybody was like, yo, Fat Man is fucking up Maseo. Like, I just felt like I had a victory that day.
Right.
But everybody was like, yo, he got to get out of here. He's got to get it, because they felt like
he's going
to come back and murder me. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Because they were on that type of time. Bushwick Bill used to, God rest his soul, he used to tell this story all the time. But he used to tell a story differently. He would tell a story all the time. Because Bill thought I went to school with him. And it didn't happen at Bushwick High School. I lived in the neighborhood, but I didn't go to Bushwick High School.
So your rep of beating the school bully or the
kinda
neighborhood bully got around.
Got around.
And was the
But
perception
Bill was around. Bill was around every day. Like, we all played in Bushwick Park. So we either played softball, or we played softball, we played basketball, or we was on the swings and all of that on the other side, you know. Back then, the swings we used to kind of, you know.
I know.
The swings was a real thing back then.
360.
360, all of that, yeah. I'm busting my skull a few times doing that shit.
Right.
But, yeah, that was the park. And we would play until they cut the lights off in the park.
Were there ever, I mean, do you have a fond memory of growing up in that neighborhood as well, or?
The only best memories I could say I had was getting up in the morning, early mornings, and everybody going to find each other to either play softball, stickball, or basketball.
Okay. Were you a Skelly kid, or?
Yeah, I was a Skelly kid also.
Okay.
I was a Skelly. Skelly was, those were my best moments.
Okay.
Until somebody did something stupid. It was either somebody in my crew or somebody who's coming to mess with my crew, you know? Yeah.
So when you get to Long Island, like, what is are you objecting to this, or is it like you just welcome in, and what are you thinking like is like out there in Long Island for you?
I didn't know what to expect living out there. We used to go visit when I was younger, so I kind of knew where we were going, you know? I knew it was...
Did it feel like another world, or...?
Yeah, it felt country. It felt very Southern-like. You know, it felt like you were going down south. That's what Long Island used to feel like.
Okay.
You know, although it was maybe but an hour ride.
Right.
But as a kid at that time, that seemed so far.
Seemed forever.
Yeah, and you get out there, it's grass, trees, crickets. We were even barely picking up KISS or BLS. You know, my uncle had an FM booster for us to even pick up radio like that. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, it was super quiet. You know. And then also I dealt with the new kid in town issue, you know. I'm dealing with...
What do you have to do to get their respect?
A whole nother level of bullying that I'm dealing with now.
So it's the same...
Same thing, just a different environment. But now I got some new skills. I got some skills I done came with.
Okay.
And then I also learned quickly, like, around that time period, wrestling was a big thing on Long Island.
All right.
Not boxing.
Okay.
So I had an advantage on a lot of cats. Because they come
they wouldn't come for you. They try to wrestle
and grab it, and I'm tapping. So
okay.
Two different fighting styles going on. So I'm coming up and people learning about me really quick, other behind fighting, playing basketball, or DJing.
Or eventually music.
Yeah.
What do you think your first musical memory was? Like your first time that you remember hearing music, or like it having an effect on you? Your earliest memory of it.
My earliest memory of it having an effect on me, and I'm gonna say DJing more specifically than just music. DJing had an effect on me when my mom used to date this guy from the I think he was from the Bronx or Harlem, and he had a daughter, and she was much older than us, and her boyfriend, Rick, I remember Rick to this day, and he had a DJ set. He had a DJ set, and I was so fascinated with DJing for some time, but I could never touch anybody's set. I also had an uncle.
Touch my stereo.
I had an uncle who had DJ equipment. He wouldn't let me touch it. So it was Rick who let me touch his equipment for the very first time. And for some reason, for the very first time I touched it, I knew what I was doing. And the record I was cutting up was Captain Sky.
Super Sperm?
Super Sperm.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the first one I got to touch. That one and Frisco Disco. Those are the two records I really remember.
How would you know I need 2 copies of Frisco Disco, like pre your career? Like, I'm assuming that this story's somewhere in between 79 and 85,
I saw
right?
it. It's what I saw. I didn't even have those records. It was already with the guys that I was studying at that time.
Okay.
Whether it was Rick, Ron C., Loki. These are the guys that was in the neighborhood.
Well, the reason why I'm asking is, all right, so a great example is James Brown. Okay, so let's take the Good Foot. Now, Get on the Good Foot comes out in 72. and is a genuine hit. And
But that wasn't popping in Brooklyn. That's what's crazy.
But what I'm saying is that even the period in which James Brown is trying to sell us on the original Disco Man and get up off that thing, like the mustache era James Brown, hip hop is still staying in between 70 or 68 to 74. Right. But it's not like you guys had a network or texting. Like, how would you guys know this song will never die? Like, as far as I'm concerned, Goodfoot never died ever since its release in 72. But just in general, like, how would you know? Like, did someone tell you, like, you got to pick the records that have at least a good break in it or a breakdown, or you just look at
by the time I really got into James Brown, it was behind listening to Marley.
Okay.
You know, it was just rhyming with Biz.
I think what I'm asking you is, did it seem old? Like, okay, it's 1982, 83, I don't know if you're 13, 14, like starting to DJ, and I'm reaching for a record from 1972. Like, for me, it took King Britt once brought DJ Muro to Philadelphia from Japan. And when he pulls out his records and I'm looking, I'm like, wait, my dad has these records in his thing. Like, why is he spinning this? Like, I couldn't grasp that this Roy Ayers record and this Commodore's record from 74 was going to work. I didn't know about the Rhythm Kitchen, and I didn't know about Giant Steps, like the idea of nostalgia culture. But even in pre-85 moments, like, it didn't at once seem odd that, wait, why are we going back 15, 20 years to play stuff for us instead of, I mean, what was popping in 83? Like, did you ever touch the 1999 record? Or
Right. I get your point. Like, I didn't touch anything current. I was going.
Yeah, like, did that seem odd to you? Like, at least with sampling, then it's like, okay, I see the connection. But without even the context of sampling, like, did it not seem odd to you that even in the 80s I'm playing a song from like 1977 and it still works? Or
I didn't connect with it like that then. I was really going off of what I was taught in my environment.
Got you.
So it was innately a part of me, and I didn't know none the wiser. I knew.
Okay.
And my mom threw some parties here and there.
Mm-hmm.
So these was also records that was in her collection as well.
Right.
Records that she would have when she's cleaning up the house.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a part of me like that, where I just knew it would work because it was working in her little parties. You know what I mean? Like,
how old were you when you did your first? Okay,
my first party.
You're gonna
12.
rock. You're gonna rock.
12. I was 12.
Where was
my
it?
mother's housewarming party? We had moved to Crown Heights.
Okay.
We had moved to Crown Heights. This is the first time we had lived in something really nice.
Okay.
And we lived on President Street.
Okay.
Actually, I lived a couple of doors down from Stephanie Mills.
Really?
She wasn't no longer living there because she was doing the whiz.
Okay.
Her parents were there.
I got you.
And what was crazy, Ben Vereen's daughter had lived down the other corner.
Okay.
Yeah, it was crazy. I lived on President Streets between Albany and Troy.
Okay.
And Stephanie lived a little more close to Albany, and Ben Vereen's daughter lived a little more closer to Troy on the other side of the street.
Gotcha.
But yeah, my mother's housewarming party on President Street, and it was whoever the DJ was, he let me get on. And I was rocking. He was dancing with some girl, like right up, because this is when the music would be in one room with all the lights on and the speakers is out,
right,
with everybody else. So nobody knew this 12-year-old was playing.
Right. Okay.
You know, so I'm playing, and I remember the record that I really got off was "Do I Do" by Stevie Wonder.
I knew it was going to be Stevie Wonder.
I had that, the way I dropped it, I will never forget that moment. My mother came and took a picture of me. I was standing on a milk crate. I don't know, white collared shirt. It was crazy.
Is there anything like the adrenaline of when you play the right record and motherfuckers go, ah?
Oh man, that's some of the best feelings ever.
All right.
Especially the sometimes the time it takes to even work
Build
that
up
out.
to it.
You know,
right?
And you hoping that it'll have the impact that you think it's gonna have when you're trying to put it together. And Yeah, that's some of the best feelings in the world.
I used to be amateur hour with it. Like when I first really started doing it professionally, I would just go hit, and be like, oh yeah, it's cool. Oh yeah, he's killing it. And then like I realized I overstimulated them, so then I had to learn like the art of highs and lows.
Yeah.
Like a record like "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough," which should, provoke like some sort of orgasmic scream. It's almost better if it comes from something that is lesser, so that it feels
much bigger later.
So for you, in all your years of DJing, what is your preferred starting record? Do you start with a monster, or do you build to a monster?
I build to a monster. I come from the era of sound system culture, so there's always been like a build-up, Right. I actually started from being the DJ who actually brought the equipment in and packed it up. So,
oh God,
I had.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah, so, that beginning of the night, it was always something monotone, slow, something to warm everybody up. I'm warming up as they warming up. I'll play for the people at the bar.
Okay.
More than I'm playing for whoever's rallying around the DJ.
So you have to be your opening act and your...
Yeah, pretty much. Me and another DJ I would share this with, and
right.
His name was Mr. Bugs, and he and I, we had a great relationship because he would play most of the time. He would play the reggae, and I would play the American music.
Right.
But what would make it eventful is when we would switch out.
Okay.
And they'd be like, oh, Mace is playing reggae tonight.
Gotcha.
So that would be the performance part that everybody would be like, wow, these guys are switching out tonight. He's playing reggae and he's playing American music. And then they would call me Yankee Bear and all kinds of stuff. Jamaican dudes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yankee
Give you
Bear.
all these titles.
Yankee Bear. Yankee Bear. Bumbleclad. Yankee Bear.
What if right now, what is for you the bulletproof, will never fail opening song for you?
The bulletproof opening song, I can't even say that, man. I don't even.
See, for me, Murder, She Wrote will never die.
Okay.
I don't know, and especially now where it's like different generations and I don't know who I'm entertaining. I could be entertaining a bunch of rich cats. I could be entertaining around the way people, kids today, people that know who the Roots are, whatever. Murder, She Wrote at least buys me 5 minutes to figure out. Well, for one thing, it's like, I assume you subscribe by the theory that women rule the dance floor. Like, if they're dancing to it, then you know it's good.
Yeah.
That song for me will forever work. And then that'll buy me enough time to figure out where I go.
Okay.
But for you, is Murder, She Wrote. What is has never failed me once?
Never failed me?
Never failed me. Like, I got to wake this party up.
Never failed me. Galaxy.
By War.
By War has never failed me. Whether I started the party with it or I mixed it in.
Okay.
It's just the way it even starts off with the
Oh, you play the intro and everything?
Yeah. If I'm playing it from the beginning, if I'm playing like the beginning of a party, I can play it from the intro. If I'm mixing it in, then it's it's definitely a build-up. But that's the record that never failed me. That never failed me, and Hijack, the Herbie Man version.
Really?
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like I love. Well, of course, what the Beat Nuts did to it. Well, at least
they use the other
excitement.
version.
Oh,
they use the other version. The one I
the
played
Herbie Man version was too
more
disco for me. And you like that?
Brooklyn was I can't even lie. Like Brooklyn was a lot more disco than other boroughs.
You know something? All right, so we just did a show together at the Hollywood Bowl, and you made me realize something. I have never, ever, like this is a weird admission to make as a DJ, I've never, ever played Bra by Samande in my sets. And I didn't realize how fun it was until we started doing, Change and Speak, right?
Uh-huh.
And when we played it, I was sitting in the set like, wait a minute, this is a bona fide classic, and I know it's a classic. How come I never once in my life ever played Bra by Simande? And the way that you incorporated the original and like to bring it full circle with playing the sample and the version you did on 3 Feet High and Rising, that it literally made me, I remember having a note to myself, actually saying, add Bra. Like inside my notes. So for you, like, do you still like playing the traditional ingredients of what classic hip hop is? Do you still like playing breaks, or are you like what is your preferred zone?
I like playing everything.
Okay.
I like everything that really just feels good, sounds good. Of course, the breaks are in there because it's what we grew up on. You know, I incorporate what really just feels good, bro. And the more I learn, the more I incorporate, the more left I think I can go. I'll go so far left that I'm right.
Well, clock's always right twice a day.
You know what I mean?
So it doesn't matter.
And a lot of that stems from growing up in the New York area with it being so much competition that I didn't want to be a part of the competition. There was nights I even played, you know, the Building and Palladium. And, you know, the hot guys, of course, is Capri, Red at the time, Clark Kent. And also promoters had this thing, too, where if you played on the bill with these guys, you kind of almost had to play the same records, too. And because it was an audience that come in, rotating throughout the night, that might have missed Capri when he played Before I Let Go. So they want you to play it again. And I had to get out of that. And I started to play more boutique stuff, I felt.
I was going to say, have you ever felt the pressure to be as eclectic as your canon catalog is? Like after Balloon Mind State came out, and once I discovered, and again, this is the post DJ Muro effect. Like when he came from Japan and started playing all this like rare shit, never once did it occur to me like, oh, I should play Evil Vibrations before I play a Roller Skating Jam on Saturdays. I should play the Tramp Break before I play Let Me In, whatever. Like that whole idea of back and forth. And then I went all the way silly with it. Like I used to always play the Peace Parts Break. Did you ever feel like the pressure that people might have expectations for you to be as eclectic as the idea of what De La Soul was to your audience in the first few years?
No, I never felt that pressure.
He's not playing Steely Dan.
I never felt that pressure. I actually realized I was already there. And what made me realize I was already there was one tour I did with Mike G.
Okay.
From the Jungle Brothers. We did a DJ tour together.
Okay.
Sammy B wasn't well, and Mike was like, Mace, let's do this DJ run, you know?
Okay.
And that's when they were doing Jungle Brothers sound system. And this was my first DJ tour out the country, because when it came down to DJing, I actually stayed local. I didn't go out on tour until I went with the group, so to speak. So it was Mike G who actually talked me into traveling abroad, just playing music. And and when we got out there, I saw Murdo, I saw everybody. I realized I was that. I was already there.
You was already there. Okay.
I was like, this is what I need to be doing. This is what I am. It actually reminded me of a night that I played at Irving Plaza, because I used to play there a lot in the very beginning of our career, like in the plug tuning days, plug tuning pothole days. I was playing at Irving Plaza, and I used to play really off the chest. I never planned any mixes, and it was one night. It was a lot of times I'm playing to even figure out what I want to use. It was like a lot of that too.
Gotcha. Okay.
Kind of always in the creative space of what I want. And Irving Plaza was one of them eclectic spots.
It was.
So I'll never forget. That's how I end up coming up with the idea for the remix of Me, Myself, and I. Is when I played
GQ?
I played GQ really slow.
Oh, okay.
I played it real slow.
Okay.
And Chuck came up to me. I will never forget that. And Chuck D came up to me. He was like, yo, I've been hearing this record my whole life, and why does it sound so crazy right now? So it was, I'll never forget that moment.
Okay.
Chuck coming up to me, and the next thing you know, it just started to click with me, myself, and I, and figuring out what to do for as a remix for that.
You brought up Capri, and my first time I gigged with Capri, he arrives with 13 crates.
Yeah.
13.
Yeah. I've witnessed the days of it being 22 or 30 crates. I remember them days, yeah.
At the height of it, like, thank God for Serato, where you can now have, like, entire terabytes inside your computer. But at the height, how many crates were you?
Me?
For a gig you cared about?
I was around the same.
You're a 13er?
Yeah, I was around the same. Yeah.
How many people?
I actually used to drive to a lot of my gigs because I felt like I needed to bring all my crates.
Because you just didn't know.
I didn't know what we were going to get into, what kind of audience it was going to be. I didn't want to not have anything. And you can have all of that and still not have something, you know?
I can't even imagine that now. Have you been attracted to the lure of returning to 45s only parties?
I've done it too. I've caught the 45 bug.
Is it really needed? Is it needed?
I caught it a long time ago. No, it's not needed. But if you catch the bug, it's kind of fun. It's just, it's fun just still trying to meet the timing of everything and
right.
the balancing of the needle. Like, we grew up on that, you know? And the imperfections of it, you know, I even realized the audience likes that. They like, oh, the record just skipped. Ah!
Okay, so
you know?
I just discovered 3 weeks ago, someone put me onto a YouTube account in which this guy literally has a collection of all live hip hop. And I mean the early days and this is post Cold Crush, the era of us collecting tapes. I'm talking about the Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5 show once they're an established group type show.
Mm-hmm.
What 20 Minutes Doug and Rick had. All the Def Jam shows like LL, Public Enemy. And I didn't realize how much the occurrence of a skipping record was back then. And, you know, I'm iffy on playing other drum sets not my own. So usually I'll bring like my snare or something that's familiar, that I know my sound and all that stuff. But for the most part, if you are just blindly going to a club for you guys to perform and you're on with seconds left of knowing how to balance your turntables, like how much anxiety was it just dealing with the whole idea of like, in the second verse, there might be a skip there, so I got to catch it, or any of those. Because have you ever watched Run DMC?
He asked how much anxiety.
Have you ever watched?
You know how much weed I smoke.
Have you ever seen Run DMC's Live Aid performance?
Yes.
They're doing, I don't know if they're doing Sucker MCs or whatever, but it just skips and then eventually Jay just has to catch it.
Yep.
In a way so that it stays on beat, and it's almost like it's the world doesn't know what genius that is. But for you, like, what basic anxiety things did you have to worry about as a DJ? Because you're also like playing breaks and
in the beginning, it was the soft spots in the stage, and we had dancers and all of that.
Right.
So my anxiety would be somebody walking apart a certain part of the stage and it skips the record, which ruins the whole performance. So I used to do sound check where I would
just
mark.
have people jumping.
I would actually play the record and jump around the different parts of the stage to see where it would skip the worst, and then I mark it, put X's down, and let everybody know, look, this is where the record skips. It skips over here. It skips over here. If you actually see the performance we do at Tramps,
I watched it this morning.
You will notice that is what's happening. You'll notice when they doing the most energetic stuff, they're at the front of the stage or at the corner of the stage.
So they know the hot spots.
They all knew the hot spots. They knew to fly to this end. They knew to fly to that end. But don't come over here, or you're gonna ruin.
Okay, so I have a question to ask you.
And if you see my face, I'm like,
this is what I want to ask you. Have you ever been in this situation where Black Sheep has been a guest on the show, and you know Engine number 9 is going to come, and you're not using replay? Like,
yeah, I used to.
Just
I used to warn Drez. I would warn. You know, it was a pet peeve of mine, especially when we had this nightmare of a show at Beacon Theater. It was since that show we had at the Beacon Theater. All of that was a pet peeve to me. It was the most destructive show ever. The worst write-up in our lives.
What year was this?
89. We was on the bill with Slick Rick. It was us, Slick Rick. I forgot who else. Yeah, it was just us and Slick Rick.
Okay.
This was Slick Rick's days of the ruler. You know?
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
The Great Adventures of
the fucking ruler.
Yeah. Right.
He was the ruler. But yeah, it was a nightmare. The dancers were bumping into each other. Skip the record. Dave was forgetting his rhymes. We had props on stage. This was around the era of having really nice props, because you know when LL used to come out in the Lamborghini and all that. So I'll come out in a baby carriage. You know,
what?
Dave's riding his bike or something, you know, and we had these balloons, and the balloons were supposed to have peace signs on them. Management messed up, and they had Mercedes-Benz signs. She was, when I tell you, destructive. That is, I wanted to forget that night.
Wait a minute.
That shit is on my brain like an elephant.
Oh my God. This is the greatest laugh I've ever had on this show.
Yeah.
Wait.
Mercedes-Benz sign on the balloons. Supposed to be peace sign.
Oh, God.
Management had, he's like, look, the peace sign, like, me, that's Mercedes-Benz. It was crazy. It's crazy.
Oh, my God.
But from that day forward, like, that's when I pet peeve of, like, the sound, the parts of the stage, all of that. Like, sound check is very important to me.
Behind every chart-topping hit, you know by heart there's an original. Writing it someplace where nobody was listening. Some basement, some bedroom, somebody with headphones on at 3 a.m. chasing a thing they couldn't even name yet. Behind the culture that marks a generation, there's an original. Already moving, already shaking things up. Already looping that one bar, already off-tempo, on purpose, because on purpose was the point. Behind every night that changed the room, somebody had to walk in first. Not knowing it would land, but doing it anyway. Originals are out there, living stories worth telling. What's yours? Behind every original, live in Levi's. You know what, Tramps? I'm standing to the right of that camera. Mm-hmm. I watched that entire show in the sound booth next to the camera dude. Like, I'm literally...
Okay.
That was the third De La show. I saw the New Year's show at the Palladium.
Okay.
It was like Tribe, De La, and Souls of Mischief.
Yeah, that was a good night.
Like, right before Dead came out, you guys came to Philly at the Trocadero. But, yeah, I was there that night. And that was also the first time I saw Mos, which I don't think the world knows that you're instrumental in sort of bringing him to...
Oh, yeah. Word.
The full,
I forgot I was instrumental in that.
What was it about? What was it about Dante, Yassine, so many titles, that told you, like, oh, this is going to be a great fit for us?
Well, I heard Dante before I met him. Mm-hmm. And this was a time period still where you could hear artists and not know what they look like. Mm-hmm. And our mutual friend was our dancer, Asia. We called her Asia Demas.
Right.
And she knew Dante.
Okay.
I found out that he was, when he first started to do the poetry readings, mm-hmm. Pre the poetry jam.
Right.
I was DJing those poetry readings.
Okay. Like New Eureka Cafe and
New
all those
Eureka
things?
Cafe,
Okay.
the museum that they had at his mother's basement, and something they had in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I used to do that. Mums used to be there, rest his soul.
Yeah, Mums.
Yeah, and I would do those events for him, bringing the equipment and everything. Most used to do this poem called Peter Pan African, and that was like my favorite poem of his.
Okay.
Peter Pan African, Peter Pan. You got to ask him to do that one day. It's a dope poem, so dope. And I was just fascinated with his artistry altogether. Like, you know.
He was charismatic on stage.
Very charismatic. I didn't know he rhymed until we got outside and all the fellas was having a little cipher. And I was like, yo, he nice.
Ciphers.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, this dude is super nice. Like, he's multi-talented. He was freestyling and singing and all of that. So,
right.
And then it wasn't until I've been following this. I had been following this group. I had heard this record. I knew. I think Diamond D had produced the original, and one day that shit came on. Now, mind you, I'm hanging out with this dude, right? Then that shit came on Video Music Box, and I was like, yo.
Right.
And mind you, prior to that, when I met Most, I was like, oh, Cosby Mysteries.
Cosby Mysteries, right.
When I met him, I was like, oh, Cosby Mysteries. But then when I saw that, I was like, as soon as I saw that, I called him. I was like, yo, man, why you ain't tell me? Like, and he was like, yo, man, you know. He's like, you know, I didn't want to be that guy. I'm like, nah, you are that guy. I need to know this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
this confirms for me one of the biggest questions I ever had. All right, I don't know if I should put this story all the way out there, but I will just say this much. Most was dating someone that did not know that he was not only an extra, like a main part of Michael Jackson's Ghosts. If you remember Michael Jackson in 1997 when Blood on the Dance Floor came out, really tried to, you know, do the lightning in a bottle twice thing. Like, I got to outdo Thriller. So he made another 16-minute scary film called Ghost and whatnot. And Most is like one of two black people. It's like a town of an old man that scares. It was like a Tales from the Crypt type thing. And we're watching it. And I was like, oh, damn, there goes Most. And she's like, well, no, that's not him. I said, you clearly, and you hear his voice, like, you talk like he from Brooklyn. Like that Brooklyn Oprah thing. Brooklyn. Yeah. And he has dialogue in this thing. And she calls him, is like, yo, like, why'd you tell me you're in the new Michael Jackson video? And he was like, that's not me. And I'm like, it is him. Like, we can clearly, we're all an Electric Lady watching this thing. And it just escalated there almost into an argument. And I'm like, why does he always deny when he does these, like, mind-blowing things? But I, you know, also think that's part of the lure. Like, he doesn't want to appear to be.
Well, I do remember in the beginning, he was saying he was keeping the acting like kind of monotone.
Church and state.
Yeah. And he was also turning down really huge projects because he's so in love with this hip hop thing.
He's world famous for that.
Yeah,
Yes.
And I think he did the best job at not crossing the two.
Balancing the two.
Yeah. Where,
because he could have easily went the Will Smith route and just been.
But then I don't think we would get the records we got.
Right.
We wouldn't got the artistry we got from him.
He's a true artist.
Most of our constituents, comrades that have leaned that went the acting route, their music either vanished or they started to make it a certain thing to cater to a movie audience.
Once they're trapped into the
you know.
I got it. Question I didn't ask you. Give me your version of the origins of how De La Soul got formed. At what point are you meeting Paul and Dave and Kelvin Mercer?
I met Posh and Dave through a guy named Charlie. We call him Charlie Rock. I met them in summer school, to be exact.
Okay.
We all were in English and math together in summer school.
Okay.
Of '85, and Somehow we clicked in school.
I'd also love the smartest group I know was all. All of you were in summer school.
All of us was in summer school. All of us. All of us.
Oh man, summer school.
So we clicked.
Damn.
We clicked, and I actually lived right across the street from the school.
Okay.
So as our relationship developed in class, next thing you know, we started to end up at somebody's house. You know, more than likely we would end up at my house or Chuck's house. You know, and then things just start to grow. Like we, you know, some about this connection just kept bringing these odd four people together. You know, I'm still new in the neighborhood, so I'm just still relatively making new friends. Like anybody I'm kind of thinking I got a certain kind of connection with, I'm developing. So I'm just meeting still new friends at this time. And it was definitely over the music. Somehow we ended up at Chuck's house. Then we started ending up at my house. Make a long story short, Chuck was getting into things that nobody else was into. And you know, he pretty much X'd himself out. You know, I'll never forget the big argument we all had. It was almost like a breakup to make up because we initially broke up.
Oh, like, the group just broke up.
We weren't even a group yet, but we knew we had something.
Right.
All I knew is we knew we had something. The vibe that was coming together had me going to buy a Dr. Rhythm drum machine and had me just getting what I can afford to even lend to what we're trying to create here. Pops was buying more records and stuff, and we studying rap and more. And when he brought home Ultramagnetic, that was like the light bulb that went off. You know, it was like, okay, yeah, we could do this, you know? Okay. And then the frustrations behind meeting the fake MC Shan and a fake BDP and...
Wait, what? What happened?
I knew Corey Rooney really well.
Okay.
We grew up with Corey. Actually, I went to high school with his sister.
Okay.
And a lot of us...
Producer Corey Rooney, his father, Herb Rooney, made
yes.
Synthetic Substitution.
Like Herb was that guy.
Okay.
Herb was like, I knew Herb before I knew Corey.
You got to meet Herb Rooney?
Yeah, Herb was like the guy. Herb was like, I was like almost like a surrogate son to Herb.
What?
Corey could tell you that. For real, I used to be over there a lot, seriously. Herb was like, I don't know, he had that spirit of like, he welcomed the kids into his home. You know what I mean? Anybody like, and you know.
Was he aware of what was happening with his record?
At that time, I'm not sure. I don't even know.
Like, did you ever play him like Ultramagnetic's first single and be like?
No, because even at that time, I didn't know.
Oh, you didn't even know?
I didn't even know either. I didn't.
So you just organically knew Herb Rooney without knowing Synthetic Substitution?
Nope. I know. I got Substitution, but I'm not.
You didn't put two and two together?
I did not.
That is crazy.
Not at all. It wasn't until after Herb passed I put it together.
Damn.
For real.
Okay.
But we used to be over there a lot, and Corey was the prodigal son. He didn't go to school. He got homeschooled. Right. He played drums all day, and Corey ran around with an army suit on with a rifle on his back. Corey used to be crazy.
Wait. Was he in the army at least?
Nah. Corey used to be crazy, yo. We used to be scared of Corey. I can't front.
What?
Yo, Corey used to be off the hook.
I know Corey Rooney.
I know Corey Rooney. And I know Corey Rooney.
Actually, Corey is kind of wild.
Nah, man. Corey don't play.
That's just, I did not know. Yeah, shout out to him for doing it.
He always been solid, too. Like, you know, I watched him step away from the fam and go do his thing with Prince Marky D, and then watch him step from that.
Right.
You know, he even brought me into Soul Convention. I had produced 2 songs for Mark. One of them made the album.
Word.
Yeah, Mark robbed me, though.
Okay.
I got to address it before he passed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I used that Lowell Fulson record.
I had that album.
I wrote the chorus.
I did not know.
I wrote the chorus to that shit.
Really?
Yeah. I wrote the chorus, and I was like, yeah. And Mark put my credit under Vincent Mason, not DJ Maseo from De La.
Right.
It was all like I was part of the Soul Convention family, but also learned at that time too. Corey was kind of on his way out from from Soul Convention.
I got you.
Yeah.
Wait, first of all, we're falling down a rabbit hole. How did you meet the fake MC Shan and the fake BDP?
Well,
together?
No, it was different.
Phew.
It was different days.
Because what was that beef like?
It was different days. The fake MC Shan came over Corey's house, so we ended up getting an invite over there because Corey knew what we was up to.
Right.
You know, Corey also remembered me from being in a group called Hardcore and a song that I made with them, and he still to this very day knows that song.
Really?
He put I wanna rock your body. That was the name of the song.
Okay.
And he remembers my verse for some reason. I don't even remember my verse, but Corey remembered that, and then he started to pay attention to what I was doing, and me, David Merce. He knew David Merce. He kind of knew what I knew. Nobody knew they rap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like a closet thing we were doing for a long time. And Charlie lived right around the corner from Corey. So the back and forth was, you know, it was, especially with the invite from Herb, you know. This one day we go over there and this dude claimed to be Shan. And I'm like, it was all suspect to me because I'm like, the way the dude talked, and what I hear on the records, this don't sound like Shan, but I'm going to ride this out. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know how he got to Herb's crib. You know, and then here it is. They're from Queens also.
Got you.
So, I don't know. Somebody got to Herb and was faking jacks.
Oh, God.
You know? And it got to a point in that, even in that day, Corey was like, this ain't no MC Shan. You know what I'm saying? And then the BDP cat was Charlie's sister was dating somebody from that crew.
Right.
And the dude was hanging with BDP. He wasn't down with BDP. So that right there frustrated the hell out of Merce. I'll never forget that day. Merce was so frustrated with that shit. And then Charlie used to play around so much, too. That was also another thing. When we really trying to get serious about trying to make some songs, and Chuck would play too much. So that was all irking Merce. And then it came one day, put it like this, it was the day that we actually, like, Merce spazzed out, and he was like, I don't want to do this no more. I'm going home. I'm taking my shit home. I started carrying my equipment back around to my house.
Right.
Because we ended up bringing my equipment to Chuck's house. Dudes tried to rob my house. So and it's clear what they was trying to get, because when they broke in my house, you could tell they went to the basement. Mind you, there's a sheepskin here, there's a sheepskin there, there's other Jordans and all of that. They headed to the basement. So somebody was trying to get my equipment, you know. And when my uncle ended up coming home, so they rushed out the window they came in, you know.
They weren't successcal.
No, they weren't. So I ended up getting my equipment and taking it to Chuck's house. So we would be at Chuck's house practicing. Chuck had the whole downstairs. Chuck was the Ricky Schroeder of the crew. He had his house. His parents had the big old house. He had the downstairs to himself, separate interests. He can even have female company.
Silver Spoons reference.
Yeah.
Did he ever train in the living room? No.
He could have, you know, like he could have. But yeah, like, you know.
Have you seen him since De La started popping off?
We spoke. I tried to continue my relationship with him by helping him with another group. And I even tried to put him down with my cousin, Uptown. Remember Uptown, Dope on Plastic?
That was your cousin?
Well, we called each other cousins because we grew up from babies.
Dope on Plastic.
Yeah.
I thought that was MC Shan.
Yeah, I know.
I thought that was MC.
Yeah.
I did not know that was your cousin. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
We grew up from the sandbox.
Okay.
So I put Chuck down with him, and he messed that up too. You know, Tommy Boy turned around and was like, we want to sign Uptown, but we don't know about your man. And I was like, there's another opportunity. He messed up for himself.
Sabotage.
You know, yeah. So I'll never forget Paz coming over the house, though, him and Dave. And it was really odd to me. He was like, yo, man, we see you serious about this. You know, we are just as serious. He's like, we want you to be our DJ. Dave didn't say nothing the whole time. But hindsight, me knowing my brothers to this day, they spoke about this beforehand.
Right.
You know?
All right, so back when I used to teach at NYU, Professor Ameliard shout out to you. Hello. She once did a study about the history of black music, and she made an observation. So the very first time that a black voice or a black song was released was a song called "The Laughing Song" by a guy named George Johnson, no relation to the Brothers Johnson. And the Laughing Song was almost like an ironic song, the same way that Stevie Wonder's "Village Ghetto Land" is done, in classical music, and he's talking about impoverished conditions, but he's doing it in such an ironic way with like a tuxedo sort of level. Mm-hmm. Basically saying like, we're still struggling in 1976 with poverty and everything, but yet, the world doesn't care if common man is starving. And so basically, since the days of the Reconstruction, black people weren't allowed to ever express emotions, which is why we invented cool, because you don't know what we feeling.
Right.
You can't be angry, might get dealt with.
Right.
You can't laugh, you might get dealt. Like literally
right.
anything to do with emotions, you're not allowed to do. And what she did was she conducted a study on every song in black music that contains laughter. And she's like, her findings were like 96% of those songs, laughter was always for the most ironic reasons. Like, like when it's like, "We back, motherfuckers!" Ha ha ha!
Yeah, right.
Like it's a laugh for evil, or if it's a James Brown command, like "ha" or whatever. But never, even Michael's he's are always after some depressing shit he just did. Want to be starting something depressing.
Right.
Billie Jean's depressing, and she's like, there's rare occasions of, and we're trying to think of like, has anyone ever laughed on record where it was actually genuine, like I'm expressing joy? And I was like, well, shit, I know the end of Rap-de Rap Show where you hear like Maseo. So you were like one of a very rare case of a person laughing because something's actually funny and you're expressing, which is, it's a weird study to find that.
Wow.
Yeah, there's like a 3-year study that she did on just the history of laughing in black music. But for you, like when you're crafting these records, and I asked Pos, like, how are you guys able to make these intricate skits sound so spontaneous and off the cuff? But I know to record stuff, it's like, and go. And it never feels that way. It always just feels like a tape was always rolling, and you guys just, like the night you guys did the 20-minute version, Skip to My Loop. Like, you can't plan that. Like, what happens?
Yo, that right there.
That is my favorite shit of all time, by the way. And I listened to all 20 minutes of that shit. Like,
everybody came over my house. This is the first time I think everybody was at my house. Granny, rest her soul. China Jet.
Right.
Dave came. Mike, his brother Mike. We were trying to just figure something out. And
so you put on
I put on
a
this
Christmas record.
Put on his record, and it just started to skip on beat. And Dave started, skip to my love, skip to my love, skip to my love. He just kept going. Skip to my love, skip to my love.
And it just...
And it morphed from there. And it was like, we got the skit we were looking for. We got it.
What's the mixtape you guys did? It's actually one of my favorite De La records, but you guys treated it as a mixtape. It's on that mixtape.
Smell the Daisies talking about?
No. Before the Dilla Daisy thing, you guys did The Impossible Mission.
Oh.
So yeah, with the if you have the Impossible Mission mixtape, it's on YouTube. You can hear the entire 20 minutes. I don't know why you want to, but it's like one of my favorite moments ever because it's you guys just being silly. That was a risky thing to do back then. Has there ever been a thing? Because I've seen...
I got to thank Paul for that. Paul was...
Was there ever a discussion like, yo, we can't appear to be too happy-go-lucky or motherfuckers will...
No, that was never a discussion. It was never even really a thought. It was us being our natural silly selves, but Paul having the idea of recording it. That's it. Like, yo, we need to record all of this. It's too good. It's just too good. He would sit back like a real producer and just analyze everything and be like, yo, man, no idea here is a bad idea. That's how he operated. No idea is a bad idea. We have to try everything.
Like, how did you make plug tuning and the demo?
It was a Casio drum machine and the SK1. And the SK1 we put up to the speaker to sample the written on the wall sample. Yeah.
So that's from the SK1?
That's the SK1, the demo, the actual demo.
I heard it. It didn't feel that homemade. Like someone just had perfect timing to do.
Yeah.
Who was the person that?
We shared it. We were sharing it, and it was more pause tape vibe because whatever was off, and then and also you had to we had the drum machine to follow the drum program on the Casio RZ1.
Yeah.
That the drum pattern was pretty lock solid, so you could follow the pattern. You just get tired, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But other than that, that was it. And we were overdubbing cassettes.
I later found out that a lion's share of It Takes a Nation of Millions was also made the same way, where they didn't read the manual to the sequence. They literally, like, that's
triggered.
Flavor Flav doing all the 808s and Funky Drummer on Rebel Without a Pause because he had immaculate timing. So Flavor was...
Because Flav played.
Yes.
Right.
But he had immaculate timing so he's the one that looped Funky Drummer and all that stuff. So just to know that none of that was sequenced and all put together by a human is some mind-blowing shit to me.
Did you know Straight Out the Jungle that album was all DJ'd?
I figured, like, in a later listen that, this is not triggered only because of, I'm also the guy, like, if you know Jazzy Jeff, he's taught me the idea of warping stuff and perfecting it, which sounds weird when you start trying to make things perfect sounding when it shouldn't be. So, yeah, I learned the hard way of trying to, I tried to warp Jim Brownski, which is a nightmare.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Wait, I gotta talk about style. Now, of course, we're doing this for Levi's. And it's just a coincidence that you guys are also style icons. I mean, as far as like hairstyles and what you guys wore, which was unlike anything that I've ever seen anyone in the craft of hip hop rocking at the time. For me, I had an old Levi's jacket that I got when we went to school with Boys to Men. So we did this Motown Philly video. I'm like drumming in it, whatever. And I kept that shit on forever because Tariq's like, you got to wear the jacket every day because we can get girls' numbers. They'll recognize the jacket from the video. Summertime, me rocking this jacket or whatever. Was there ever an article of clothing, like, as far as, like, deciding what the personal style was? I know you guys said, like, we go in our parents' cribs and wear their clothes, but was that really the case? Or, like...
No, that really was the case, especially for them two guys. They were in their pops' gear. Me, I had to go buy stuff. I didn't have a pops to go in his clothes like that. But yeah,
what was like your favorite article of clothing, or like at least for the early days of De La Soul, like that never left you?
I mean, for the early days, what was cool about it was like the way they were hooking up their pants. Because I do come from a era of I'm more into the nostalgic wear, the classic wear, stuff that I always wanted to wear when I was younger, watching my uncles and all of them. And I used to, every now and again, my mom would get me a pair of shark skin pants. You know what I mean? I used to rock shark skin, yeah. Shark skin.
I wasn't ready for that.
The split gabardine joints.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to rock that, and then, but they used to be pretty bell bottom. And then when I met Parson David Merce, excuse me, guys, I gotta call him David Merce. They would kind of hem their pants, like almost make them straight leg. Okay. They would turn the bells into straights because I realized their father's pants were damn near the same. Okay. So they would make them straight leg. And
I'd safety pin them together so they'd be more baggy instead of... Yeah.
And so when I saw Dave do that, I copied that. I was like, yeah, that's exactly how I really want my pants to be. I don't want them to be bell bottom because I want you to see my shoes I'm rocking too. You know what I mean? Like, so, but I did come from the split gabardines, the shark skin, the mock neck. I used to rock that. That was my thing.
Well, you also mentioned when your house almost got broken into, like sheepskin.
Yeah.
So you were aware of street fashion of the time.
Yeah, I was. I was heavily.
Because when we heard "Take It Off," we were just like,
I was a baby Jam Master Jay, straight up.
Okay.
Yeah, I was leather pants and all of that. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
Yeah, I was relatively dressing like Flash and the Furious 5 and Run DMC.
Gotcha. How long did it take you to craft Cool Breeze on the Rocks? Now,
oh man,
I was heartbroken because of the new version and of course the clearance along. But I love the way you guys handle it. It was even more hilarious. That was the most hilarious thing. If you can find the original Cool Breeze on the Rocks on YouTube, listen to what it was and how mind blown we were back then, and compared to what they had to do now with it. But how long did that take to craft?
That piece made me hate engineering. It made me hate engineering. Now, don't get it twisted. Now, I can engineer my ass off because I got no choice. But
tell me about the punching.
It made me hate engineering.
Talk about it.
Punching? How about splicing tape? Splicing. And I'm not talking about the splicing we do on Ableton or Pro Tools. I'm talking about tape. Actual tape. Splicing tape. I hate that.
So wait, in my mind, you're in a studio with a 2-inch reel doing this. You're doing this on cassette?
I did it on the half-inch.
Okay.
I brought in all the records I found
with the word rock on it.
With the word rock in it. And
how long did it take you to do the research? Or did you just automatically know?
I thought of different records off top, and I went right to them. And I was just, go through them, making sure, what I'm thinking is the correct thing, and then going down the rabbit hole of finding all the stuff I wanted to say rock. I knew I always wanted to mess with Cool Breeze from Richard Pryor. I just knew that. So it was like, Cool Breeze on the Rocks, okay? Let's figure this out, you know what I mean? And I went down every record that had rock, but then it was putting it together. Mm-hmm. It took 2 days, man. It took actually 2 days to do that one little piece. And I recorded all the rocks to the half-inch. I cut the Cool Breeze, Cool Breeze, but all the rocks I spliced.
Oh, so wait, it wasn't like you just added on to it.
No.
You just, oh no.
Yeah, I just cut Cool Breeze and then.
Why'd you do it that way?
I didn't know no other way. It was beginnings. The embryonic stages of what we were becoming. And Paul didn't know no other way. The engineer didn't know any other way. It was like, he said, record it to the half-inch and then we're going to splice it all together. But I had to be on deck.
So when you were done.
But I was on deck learning the splicing because it was my idea. So I'm working with Al, the engineer, and I swear I hated that shit. Marking the tape, trying to get it. And then sometimes you're cutting over the part where you're trying to have, so now you got to record it again.
Start all over again.
I hated that shit, man. I was like, I'm never doing this again. And I said, as an engineer, I don't want to be an engineer. I'll be a producer. And I hired the engineer to help me mix this record.
You don't even know, just...
And this is before automation and all of that.
Dude, that made such a profound... I know you probably think this is a 30-second sketch, but just our collective minds were blown. I worked at the Sam Goody's the week that came out. And when we heard it, we all stopped in the thing like, what the hell is this? Nation of Millions was just one thing to take in 7 songs coming at you at the same time, out of key or whatever. But yeah, when that happened, the entire white people stopped. What is this?
Right.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, I was working in Sam Goody's when that record came out.
My favorite device in the studio was the Eventide. The Eventide.
Why was that?
The harmonizer. It allowed us to. To mesh records together that didn't really work, harmonically.
You guys did that, and I forget the example of it. Buddy,
Buddy was one.
Buddy was an example of that.
What's the name was an example of it also. Say No Go.
Yes.
With the
bass line.
With the bass line, also along with the Sly and the Family Stone record.
Yes.
Those records don't work together.
Yeah.
You know,
I will
melodically.
credit you guys were the first to match your samples so that it's together. Can I ask something? For 3 Feet, was Bob involved then, or did he come full time during De La Soul is Dead?
He came
Bob
more
Power.
during De La Soul is Dead.
Okay.
In the beginning, it was Bob Coulter,
Mm-hmm.
who actually was one of the partners of Calliope Studio.
Mm-hmm.
It was Sue Fisher, Lyle Leet, God rest his soul.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot Shane Faber.
Shane. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys were also one of the first rap groups that I noticed that didn't rhyme over their album versions. LL would rhyme over his record. Rakim would rhyme over his record.
Yeah.
Slick Rick too. And the closest that I did see MCs rhyming to their instrumentals, you know, like Marley Marl would always have a dub on the B side. You love to hear the story, the story. Way back when, like,
Yeah,
they would do,
and I think that was so
just so you know where you are.
You know yeah,
right.
Yeah.
The first thing I noticed was like, whoa, these are all instrumentals. Like, were you, because Def Jam didn't even start making instrumentals until '87. So were you guys like already aware that an instrumental should be on the B side, or was that a Tommy Boy decision?
It was stuff we learned from Stet.
Okay.
You know, I can't front. Stetsasonic was a huge template for a lot of things we've became, you know. If you ever saw a Stetsasonic live show, it was one of the most incredible shows you can see.
I have a wish in life. There's not, I mean, the closest that you get to classic Stet in their glory, it was some talk show where I think LL was there to really promote Walking with the Panther. So it was like '89 era. It was like blood, sweat, and tears, Stet, and Panther LL, and they did like something together. And I asked this with Chuck. I'm like, this is the era of at least like the first generation of video cameras. Not one person in that circle doing those tours decided to record one Stetsasonic show. All I will know is the folklore of the craziest group.
Yeah.
And for me to be the sort of the back end of that and having never, ever seen, like I can't imagine a person not seeing a Roots show once at least before they say, oh, they're the greatest group. Like I would love to say that myself, but there's no record whatsoever of their performance. Like, does Paul have anything? Does he?
I'll ask him.
It's even harder to find you guys.
Because here's the deal. If anybody would have picked up the camera back then, would have been Paul. But if he's in the show,
he can't do right.
So
okay.
I maybe Newkirk, rest his soul, might have recorded it. Maybe somebody around Paul might have. I'm gonna ask him though.
I was gonna say one of the greatest things that I got to see, kind of in reflecting on Dave's life was the footage of you guys recording the De La Soul is Dead album, which, I mean, any of those things, that's like gold to me now. Like, how do you recall like cameras being rolled often during like at least the first 3 records when video cameras were?
I was never really conscious of the camera being on, you know. When
You've seen this footage, right?
I've seen.
Yeah.
I saw the footage of Dave doing Johnny's Dead.
Yes. Yes. To see that in real time,
AKA
man.
Vincent Mason.
Yeah, right. What is the basis of that? He just happened to be at a piano.
In the studio at the piano, acting the freaking fool. And it's one of them days where I call homework was done. You know, Paul would give us homework. So homework was done. So we had time in the studio just to do whatever. That's how the skits would even come to life, because once we took care of what was for homework.
The song, right.
Yeah, and then we got more time to just either come up with a new song or just mess around, you know?
I always wanted to know this question. So, I mean, for us, being as though instruments are a big part of what makes a Roots album, that stuff was part of the budget. Hey, I want to get more an extra microphone for this particular sound. I want to buy these cymbals or whatever. Was record shopping and digging part of the record budget, or was that just like
Nah, that was naturally part of our lives.
You own it, and
I couldn't wait to go on tour so I could hit every city
go dig
and go digging. I couldn't wait, especially going overseas. It was one time I went to some store and I damn near bought half the store, and I got 2 tickets to a Prince concert behind that.
Really?
When Prince came out with Batman.
Oh,
I was
shit.
in this record shop, and I just like, this record shop had almost everything my heart desired. First of all, the turntable was in there, so you could play everything you was checking for, and I had a day. It was a gold rush day.
Really?
And I damn near bought half the store. And the dude was like, and
Very typical.
He kept it open for me. I was in there after hours, and he was like, yo, just because you bought so many, I got 2 tickets tonight for Prince at Wembley. I was
Goddamn.
like, stop playing. He was like, for real, he said, I want to give you these 2 tickets. And me and my security at the time, we went to the concert.
That is
I was
crazy.
Batman.
For real?
I lost my voice, everything. It was the mess. It was
Damn.
the mess.
Wait, so, okay, I would say probably my era, like starting in 95, once record dealers became aware that, I can sell him this Galt McDermott record for $50. I could sell, this record.
The markups on us because they see us coming.
So you were there for a magic period where people really didn't know the value of stuff, and you could get something for $1 or $5.
A quarter, even a quarter.
So what was the wild gold rush days of record conventions like, when I'm hearing these stories of like hotels being,
oh man,
like, were you ever part of that madness? And
I was for a second, and then I started to notice the competitive behavior in there.
This is where
and then I stopped going.
The first time I'm hearing blah blah's an asshole or blah blah blah, like, you found out who cats really were during this period. And the one thing I always heard though was that Prince B was such a nice figure. Prince B from PM Dawn was that the dealers will always let him come in like at 1 a.m, like 8 hours before you guys even get a chance to get to it. Either he paid them extra money or was just extra nice to him or whatever. And then like come 9 a.m. when it's time to let everyone else in.
Capri used to be there the night before.
Really?
He'd book a room in a hotel.
Smart. Smart. So
and catch them while they setting up.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, let me see that. So I mean, at its height, like, was it really just like the search for gold, the search for the perfect break, not knowing what's on this or that? Like, would you roll by yourself or would you guys roll as a group?
I would go by myself. In the beginning, we would rally up and go together. It would be kind of part of our day when we met up at the studio or something like that, But then, after a while, I started going by myself. I started even traveling different places just alone.
Gotcha.
Just so I could focus.
Okay.
And don't feel that pressure.
The pressure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I've heard enough folklore behind, from you being responsible for Me and Myself and I, and all the way to We Hate This Song to, I guess, okay, we like this song again. Now it's a legacy song. From soup to nuts, what is your version of Me, Myself, and I? And also the 3-sided 12-inch idea, like.
Okay. Let's start with the 3-sided thing. With the double groove.
Right.
I'm gonna give credit to Tom Silverman for that.
Okay.
I gotta give it to him for that. I will always say after whatever we decided to do business-wise, whether we liked it or not, whatever we decide after that, creatively working with him, was always pretty fun.
Okay.
So that double groove idea, I thought it was I wish I thought of that. You know what I mean? I was like, that's.
Well, we do give you guys credit for it, but I get it.
But you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Why didn't it come to me like that? But thumbs up to him for that. You know, the part of I had sat on that sample. Put it like that. I sat on that and More Bounce to the Ounce for a long time, and More Bounce broke my heart when
EPMD.
EPMD came along.
Right.
Because it was just a matter of time, especially when it's a dope loop. You know what I mean? It's just, when it's in the ether, it's like, somebody gonna get to this. It's out there. I grabbed it, somebody else grabbed it. It's all about who's gonna put it out now, you know? And sure enough, they did an incredible job. I thought they, you know,
Right.
I wouldn't expect anything less. And then I sat on a Knee Deep record, and I played with that for a while, and they hated it.
I'm shocked that people didn't catch on in like '89 for Knee Deep to finally make its debut in hip hop terms. That would have been super Captain. That to me would have been more obvious than anything James Brown did. But were you shocked that, oh my God, not one person has bothered to go here yet to use?
I was shocked. Like, I put it like that. I felt like Eric Sermon was on my heels. I did feel that.
Okay.
When I, you know,
Right.
I was like, he's a funk
He
lord.
knows.
He
Right.
knows. You know, I knew Paul was onto it.
All right.
Because we both was Funkadelic fans.
Right.
You know, I gave Paul, not even knowing, I gave Paul the Maggot Brain album with the joint we used for Millie.
Yes. Okay.
I didn't know that was on there like that. I gave it to Paul. I was like,
Didn't do your homework.
yeah, like
That's a bunch of rock
yeah,
stuff.
I don't know.
You take
Go
it.
ahead, bro. And sure enough,
Damn.
I'm like, Lisa's for us. I don't care. Lisa's for us.
Okay.
And then, the Knee Deep joint, sat on it for so long. I even tried it with another artist, and he didn't like it. You know,
Was it too fast or just?
I guess it was. Yeah, it wasn't. You know, this was around the era too. It was getting more up tempo with things, and it becoming more dance music amongst hip hop. You know, so Dave and Merce wasn't in it with me like that. They just was not there with me. You know, and I was like, shit, man. I was like, yo, we need to use this shit. I didn't know how to convince them in any way until we was at Tommy Boy.
And they were fine with Hall and Notes and Steely Dan, but this was like too Captain Obvious for them.
Hall and Note, that was Pasa's idea.
Okay.
You know, and I could see, you know, conceptually, lyrically, I can understand those songs coming to life the way they did. You know what I mean? Especially for what he had in mind. The anti-drug song, song about the girl, you know what I mean? Like, this when LL was I Need Love, Kane was with Smooth Operator, we need a girl song, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
You saw this as, we need a song that the girls can get down to. And
That's what I saw him trying to do. Like, we need as you evaluate in the records that's coming out around you, these are the templates we're going off of. You know, like listening to LL's album, listening to PE's album, listening to this one's album, listening to Kane's album, listening to Slick Rick's new album. You know, because Slick Rick album was like, we needed to record 2 more songs when we heard The Greatest Adventures of Slick Rick.
Pops told me that.
He came with Living in the Full-Time Era behind
he told me that
trip.
Right.
That trip we had, we took a trip, had some shows with 45 King and Lakim Shabazz, and we was in a limo. In a limousine.
I know.
Wow. Listening to The Greatest Adventures of Slick Rick. And we was like, yo.
We got to come with it.
We was like, okay, already out the gate, we was like, this album ain't going to.
You was ready to scrap the record?
We was like, our album not going to do well. We was already like, we just thankful for the opportunity of making an album. You know what I'm saying? Also, when the label's also telling you, we really think we got a great record here, but we only think it's going to sell like 50,000 units. We're being told these things. So I'm really thinking about going to the military and all that. All the things that was on my list before that album deal came on, I was pretty much
this isn't your occupation yet.
I was about to put it was all back on my list. Like, okay, after this album, I'm probably going to the military or into the workforce, something, because I don't see this music thing really being successful for us, you know. I swear to you. Know where you at when you just got 2 singles out and, you know, you're just happy, you know? And I'm just happy, like, yeah, we embarking upon this thing called sampling, and we got people who supposed to pay for clearing the samples, so we thinking we getting permission to do all these things we're actually doing. So the body of work and the opportunity, we're like, every day was happy to be in the moment.
Right.
You know, when is it going to end? That was the question.
Okay, so at what point do you realize that you caught lightning in a bottle? Like, oh shit, not only is this gonna work, but this will be as impactful as Raising Hell.
After the marketing meeting, at least with me, myself, and I, after the marketing meeting that we had at Tommy Boy, and they were like, we feel like this is a great record. The feedback that we're getting back is phenomenal, but what's going on out there, we don't know if this is going to do well. So we guessing around 50,000 units. We also have, you guys got great records. You know, the music that you chose to sample, you know, it was definitely white oriented,
Right.
you know? So they was also like, we don't really have anything we can go to black radio with. Remember, black radio was a thing then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I never forget Ed Strickland. Remember Ed?
Yeah.
Being one of the main people, feeling like there was nothing quite there yet to go to black radio with. And what ended up coming up was me, myself, and I, and also the remix for Buddy.
Gotcha.
Those was the two records
Yes.
that landed it for black radio. How end up me, myself, and I end up being the record that we finally decided to say, well, Paul called me up and was like, yo, Mace, bring that to the studio. It was when, I want to say it was the same day, that evening, we went to a Zulu Nation party at Hotel Amazon. And I don't know if it was Bam or Jazzy J who was DJing. One of them was on at the time, and they dropped Knee Deep. They dropped Knee Deep.
You saw it work.
It went crazy in there. And I hit Dave. I was like, I'm telling you, this is it. This is it right here. This is the one. And he was looking at me like gave me that look like, I think he right, but I don't want to do this, you know?
Dave was always the hardest one to convince.
Always hardest one to convince.
Yeah.
Sure enough, I don't know what made them, they must have all had a discussion with Paul. And then Paul called me and was like, Mace, bring that to the studio.
Cool.
Bring that joint to the studio. And then when I brought it to the studio, I just had it a basic loop with the drum tap running a little bit more than what you hear on the record. Some drum programming behind it. Then Paul came with the Rapper Dapper Snapper. The Dougie Fresh cuts.
Gotcha.
He had the idea of running the loop, running it through a channel, running the loop from the tape into the DJ mixer, back onto the tape, so we could transform all the
Oh, because at the end you go crazy on it. Oh, got it. Okay, okay.
And the Dougie Fresh cuts, we was going back and forth with that. Boom, boom. So it was me and Paul going back and forth like on some DJ shit in the studio, developing the track. These two dudes sitting in the back, and you could see the look on their face, like, this shit is coming out good. Like, oh shit, like it's working. Oh my God. And then all I can remember is these two guys spoofing Black is Black by the Jungle Brothers. And it was just, they were just in America. They was back there bugging out. And the more and more it got clownish.
It backfired.
It backfired.
And worked.
And I think that was also the revelation of the humor in what we do is going to work.
Okay, I got to ask this question. And maybe this is me bridging to De La Soul is Dead and kind of even though steeped in humor, it did come a little defensive. But, for the record, De La Soul is Dead is my all-time favorite record. Not even in your canon, but just that's what me and Tariq want to start a group when we heard this. But can you give me, what is your average memory of the Nitro tour with LL, NWA, Public Enemy, you guys?
My average memory.
Yes.
I don't think anything was average about that.
What was it like?
Oh, man, it was, whew.
Okay,
I'm trying to see where I could go with this without.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Let me ask. This is a yes or no question. So one of the main positions on De La Soul is Dead is like, yo, cats are trying to test us.
Yeah, that was.
And again, to hear you guys were getting into scuffles, in various cities based on people thinking that you're a certain way or whatever, or soft or whatever, like whatever the thing was in 89, 90.
Yeah,
The irony that it's coming from you guys whom in our heads were like, wait, this is De La Soul. This is the last group we expect to be.
Well, this was also a time period. We were still young and fresh on the scene, so being backstage and all of that wasn't all of that important to us. We enjoyed being around the people, but not realizing the danger.
So y'all would go out in the audience?
We would be out in the audience, man. We would be hanging out like if we was hanging out at Club Mars or something like that. You know what
God.
I mean? Or Irving Plaza, or, like if we was just hanging out in the city. And the way the tour was, it was like we all had camaraderie. It was a real brotherhood out there, like LL's and his pops, they all looked after us,
Right.
Kane's crew, and this was also although the tour was marketed as LL, De La, Slick Rick, Kane, it was NWA on that tour, Too Short, every now and again Special Ed, EPMD, PE. It was hip hop from east to west, all over this tour.
Is it true that
Yo-Yo was on the tour, like just a little bit of everybody. Every city had somebody different, or a string of dates. They was on Ghetto Boys every now and again. So it was like just a lot of love, man.
Is it true that you guys were there for the infamous Detroit night with
Yeah,
NWA?
we were there. Actually, that what you see in the movie happened on that tour. And really how it went, Ren dedicated the song to Paz. It was Paz's birthday. He dedicated the song to Paz, and then Cube went into it, and it all was maybe about less than 60 seconds. The hoopla jumped off. Yeah. The police throwing M80s. Obviously we all thought it was gunshots, but it was police who lit M80s, threw them towards the stage. As they went off, of course, it sounded like gunshot, So that created the chaos. It was a big thing because of the song, the police around the country had an issue with them.
Right.
FBI had an issue with them. So the actual officers on the scene really didn't have an issue. They were just following the job.
Protocol, right.
Because when they finally got to them, they asked them for autographs. When Easy came back to the hotel, he was like, oh, man, they just wanted our autograph. And they just seem embarrassed because of the song. And
right.
they just feel embarrassed.
How did you learn to do something with authority, but actually make it fun and not, like, that's a gift that I don't know. Is that just years and years of communicating, or?
Yeah, I think it's years of communicating, years of watching and remaining a student to this and watching the highs and lows, and also having that feeling of knowing that there's somebody out there who may have never ever seen us before.
Mm-hmm.
I guess also paying attention to the barometer of the business of De La Soul, and knowing when you're hot, and knowing when you're not. You know what I mean? And knowing that every time you get up there, you're introducing yourself to somebody who may have never encountered you before.
Yes.
And then I think a lot of that comes from also the early days of being on these festivals that are so alternative. Especially, I think, when we did the Fine Young Cannibals tour, we were like a fish out of water with that, and we got booed pretty bad until we did Me, Myself, and I. It was like,
damn, I would have thought that would have been an easy reach.
Until we did that song is when we got the love, but throughout our performance, it was a struggle. It was like,
and you had to learn
how to figure out what songs work for what audience.
Okay.
Start what territories, start really thinking like a DJ. You know what I'm saying? And connecting with what's going to work, what's not going to work. Implementing more crowd participation. okay, for somebody who don't know us, we could still have a good time. Let's try to get them involved.
Right.
So that's where a lot of the crowd participation come in, because you'll find people going, I done never heard or saw you guys before, but I had a great time. And that's only because they were involved.
So to go from Fine Young Cannibals to now you guys have been doing a lot of rotation with the Gorillas.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I didn't even properly introduce you. You're a Grammy Award winning Vincent Mason. So could you talk about working with the Gorillas and even touring with them and how that, because just by looking at the footage of what I see like nightly when you guys do gigs with them, you know, can you just talk about like the whole collaboration of Feel Good?
I think by the time we got to the Gorillas, we were already well groomed. You know what I mean? It was for me, before even the group even heard them, it was something I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. Like, and I was already fascinated with them when Del worked with them.
Right. Okay.
I was like, oh man, when Del worked with them, I wasn't even thinking about working with them. I just really wanted the record. I was like, yo, this record is crazy. I gotta have this. It was one of them.
Right.
I wanted it under my belt. Here it is. I felt like I play this record, they gonna want this from Maseo if I play that record, you know. They might not want it from Capri, but they gonna want it from me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and I was in love with it. And then chasing it around for about a good year under the assumption that Danny Automator was the Gorillas. And come to find out he wasn't. He's just a producer of that song.
Right.
But I more and more I got closer to it. I met the two twins who were part of the art camp, Lucy and I forgot her sister name, but they're twin sisters. They were all part of the art development with Jamie of what we see with the visuals and everything. So in meeting them got me closer to one, just getting the music. And then I forgot who I met. A cat.
Damon? Or?
I met Matt, a cat named Matt. And then Matt ended up having a conversation with Remy. Remy is Damon's best friend.
Okay.
As I hear the story from the other side, Remy was the one going, Damon, you need to mess with De La. You need to mess with De La. Del is like the son of De La.
Right,
you know
exactly.
What I'm saying?
Because I thought the same thing.
He's like, yo, you need to do this. But I could see Del's intro was Dan. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I could see Damon didn't probably know much about Del either.
Right.
So, but Dan being on deck, you know, especially after doing Handsome Boy Modeling School, that's all in Damon's lane.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
The Corky Projects, that's in his lane. So I could see how their relationship developed, and Del got a part of that. But as I was fighting just to get the records, it landed up on his ears like, yo, you need to mess with De La. And then we got a call to come be a part of this project. And it was supposed to be a completely another song altogether. I think
How did it come together? Because actually, your laughter and all that stuff, like, that's the most memorable part of it. Like, how did that come to be?
It was a different track altogether. I think the track now, the track we were supposed to do is now titled Kids with Guns. When we were working on the track, it was like no one was really feeling it. You know what I mean? We were just kind of doing the job. It became one of the moments that I didn't like about us. You know, let's not do this for the money. You know what I mean? Like, okay, there's money on the table, but if it ain't really clicking, let's not do this. You know what I mean? And somewhere in the session, Damon just stopped the session. He was like, yo, honestly, what do y'all think about this song? I said, yo, man, I think we're forcing something here. I said, I don't think it's a real collaboration. I think we're just featuring on something here.
Right.
You know?
And you can phone it in.
I said, no one's really putting the spirit into this that I know, we could put into this. And I said, me personally, I think the track is cool the way it is. I don't think we need to do anything to it. I don't even hear these guys on this track. Merce already had something for it. So it did frustrate him. You know what I'm saying? Merce had something for it already.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I said, but I'm being honest. I don't even think I hear my crew on this track. You know? And then Dave was like, yo, why don't you play us everything you intend to put on the album?
Right.
You know, just play us everything you recorded that you think it's gonna make the album. Then you start playing stuff. And Mercer was frustrated because Mercer had his,
He had his
tunnel vision for what was going on. And I knew that too. But I informed everybody. I was like, yo, man, let me know what it really is before I get on this plane. I said, because I know I'm easy to upset the apricot. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If I ain't feeling it, I ain't feeling it.
Right.
I'm going to speak my mind, you know? Right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm going to speak my mind, and we go with it from there. So as I spoke my mind, things start to shift. Merce was slightly frustrated. Then Damon started playing stuff, you know. Next thing you know, tequila's coming out, weed's coming out. He's spending like a good 9 hours in the studio listening to stuff and kind of waiting for the
inspiration,
the inspiration and all of this tension to settle. Once the tension settled, Damon got around to the Feel Good Inc. track, right? And next thing you know, this is one of the days Dave decides to smoke weed. He doesn't normally smoke weed, you know? This is Dave, you know, I always call Dave a holiday smoker, but he's the only one that knows the holiday.
You don't know when it's coming.
You don't know when it's coming.
Right.
So this was one of them days.
Okay.
And sure enough, we in there, we getting charged, and the beat comes on, and he goes, Mace, why do I keep hearing Doodle Brown? He's like, I keep hearing Doodle Brown. As the track is playing, he's going, don't stop, pop that pussy, let me see you Doodle Brown. The whole time.
Right.
He's like, why do I keep hearing that? So he started to craft the lyrics. And that's where you get the loop
the
pattern,
cadence,
and check out how I navigate. Ha 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 ha. That's all of that. Yeah, that's all of that.
That's where it came from.
That's where it came from. Doodle Brown, literally. And he was like, yo, when he came with the whole, check out how I navigate. Ha 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 ha. Mace, I need to laugh. Mace, I need to laugh. I need to laugh. And that laugh, I did that laugh. I forgot when I started doing that shit. It was a show. We used to do Bionics.
Okay.
We used to end the show with Bionics. And I started to do the laugh. And the laugh was intentional because I forgot what tour we was on. We was on Rock the Bells.
Okay.
Before LL got the brand back.
Right.
We was on that. So the ensemble of artists that was on there, you know, there's that competitive nature. We all out there trying to pull out our best shit. So, you know, our secret weapon was always Fife and Biz.
Gotcha.
Bring Fife and Biz out, and then we would close Bionics, and then I would do the laugh, and the laugh always, you know, it was
a life of its own.
It was intentional. It was like, it was at the end of Bionics. It was ha ha ha, we still here.
Right.
That's what it really meant.
Right.
In that moment, and then we just held on to it. It was like, yo, you got to keep doing that. You got to keep doing that. And then, I just kept rocking it for a while. I did a Cornerstone mixtape using the laugh, and then came up to the Gorillaz record. Dave was like,
that laugh.
The laugh. On recall, it was like, I need the laugh. I need the laugh.
Okay.
So it went down in the studio. I just kept doing it, and they was all fascinated in the studio how I could keep doing it. And it was like, how do you do that? I was like, I don't know, man. That's my laugh. I mean, it's a little bit more embellished because I'm forcing something, you know.
No, it feels authentic though.
But that's my laugh. I'm like, my laugh used to get me into trouble. My laugh would get me into fights, literally. So for it to turn out to be that, you know what I mean? Like,
it's a good turnaround.
You know, I mean, I used to get ridiculed behind my laugh. I end up in bouts a lot of times just behind my laugh, you know?
Oh, man.
You know?
It's ironic because my first impression of you guys, like, oh, that's the nerd, that's the happy-go-lucky hippie, and he's the one that'll beat me up. But now it's like...
Nah, Dave is the one to beat you up.
Dave is the moody one. So for me to discover, the moody one is the one I thought was the nerd, Paz is, based on his verses alone, and I think that's his therapeutic thing.
Yeah.
Paz is a low-key player with all of his little, like, and I'm like, oh, okay, Paz, I didn't know you got down like, and then you are actually the heart of De La Soul. To me, besides getting your masters back, one of the most revolutionary things that you guys did was you were like, first out the gate, at least with using a established group that I know using Kickstarter as their business modus operandi, like instead of relying on a record label, and I won't say the burden of wanting to take all that on yourself. From how would you guys talked into kickstarting and raising funds for yourself? By the way, Merce, I've not got my sneakers yet. What made you guys decide to do it? What have you learned about yourself as businessmen? And I guess I can also tie into having your masters now and what it takes to release the music that we want to hear again. So just like start with the whole Kickstarter concept with, I don't know if it's a nightmare or just like, we'll do it again or not do it again. Like, what was it like for you?
It was a daunting experience, but an experience I wouldn't change.
Well, because you
I don't
pioneered
like to
it.
give myself no pats on the back, but I pay attention really close to this business.
Right.
From the time we got in. And all the different changes, the different facets. I read Donald Passman's, both of his books, That was a great template for me to...
Which book? The
Everything you need to know about the music
business. Okay.
Yeah. And then he did a second one that touched on the change with the internet and all of that.
Okay.
You know what I'm
An
saying?
updated version.
Yeah, updated, yeah. So those were great templates for me to continue to navigate through the business of De La Soul and the music business in general. Prior to that, it was always Prince Paul. Prince Paul, when I was struggling with certain things, I went back to Paul, and Paul was like, yo, I can't help you. Paul was like, I can't help you. He said, because you've had success that I never had. So that tripped me out. You know what I'm saying? It was like,
Damn.
yeah.
Bars.
He was like, you had some success that I didn't have. He said, so I don't even know how to tell you how to navigate what you're dealing with, So I started to pray a lot more, study more, and have real discernment on different conversations I was having with different executives that like to manipulate, and learning they hustle, and figuring out, just pulling this piece apart. And I know the more waves you create, the more they want you to get out the way, And that's one thing I did learn. Like, I'm creating waves, so nobody want to mess with Mace. They want to talk to Paz. They want to talk to Dave. They want to talk to who they think is docile.
Will be agreeable. And,
yeah.
Right.
Not knowing that you might want to talk to me because my guys.
I knew. Trust me, I know you're the heart of De La Soul. Trust me, that much I do know.
But in certain changes that were happening, we are a little conflicting with one another based on the fact that some of us was paying attention to certain things that others weren't. You know what I'm saying? So this was another milestone in our relationship on trying to connect with one another's growth. For the longest, I've been the little brother, I was like, here's for a better term. I was like, look, based on how we're growing in this, stop calling me the little brother. Call me the younger brother.
Got you.
Because the little brothers seems like the one you need to protect who don't know nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It has a connotation,
right. Diminishes your
and that wasn't what was going on between me and Paz. That was going on between me and Dave. So once we established that, it was another growth in our relationship as brothers, Like Mace may be on to something here, The Kickstarter idea came up. It was a bit of a struggle because Dave verbatim felt like, yo, we look like we begging, You look like this system looked like we begging. And I was like...
And was it weird, like, when Tommy Boy imploded,
this is when
did you just think, like, okay, we'll just go to another label or find...
That was the, that's always well, when Tommy Boy folded, we did go to another label. We went to Sanctuary.
Right.
We went to Sanctuary. And
why was that a one-off?
It was...
like, was that album considered a success or...
It was a corporate-owned company that, with shareholders, fell apart completely.
Great album, though.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. It was first partnership I could say we were in outside of Tommy Boy. So everything after that ended up being partnerships or just independent, you know. And luckily enough, with the Kickstarter, it was a bit of both. It was we raised, when we decided to do the Kickstarter, it was because the deals that were out there were not favorable for what we were conditioned to and to what was being offered. And respectfully, I had to go, yo, man, we are 10 years without a record, and the industry is plummeting in a certain way where it's going digitally and all that. So these deals, they're not hot. Now, what they're offering, yo, we could go out there and do some shows and raise that kind of money on our own and maintain our ownership, you know. Then the first I saw Kickstarter, I don't know, it came across my internet feed, and when I was doing my research on it and tapping into the different artists that were doing it, the person I really focused on was Ed O.G. People don't know that. Ed O.G. did a Kickstarter. He did a Kickstarter, and he met his goal. Reason why we don't know, because it wasn't $600,000. You know what I'm saying? It was like 40-something, 50-something thousand, but it was his goal. And so he met his goal.
So it
wasn't newsworthy. That's all I'm saying.
But it would just break it down like I'm a first grader. So the thing is that you decide from the gate what budget you want to raise, and then you create this record, and then the album sells. And do those who contribute get their money back, or is it just in good faith? They
want to just see it happen.
Gotcha.
I couldn't even believe it myself. Like, it was too good to be true. Like, they don't want nothing. They, you know,
I was promised two pairs of sneakers. But go ahead.
You heard that. You heard that. You owe, bro. You owe.
No. You good.
You owe, Pook. You owe, Pook.
No, you good. You good. I got 5 pairs of De La Dunks anyway, so we're good. Yeah. So you did it.
We went for the money that was being offered regarding the record deals. You know.
Okay.
We was like, okay, let's be fair in trying to raise what we know we can. All we need is to record the record. So the offers that was out there was like nothing more than 150 grand. So it was like, yo, we ranged it around 130 grand that we could raise. I said, look, we could raise 130 grand and we still own the rights to our record. It's supposed to having to give it up to some company, you know? That was the idea. Dave wasn't quite feeling it. Merce was on the fence. And it was really trying to come up with ideas of how we can give a little to the audience that's willing to support us. What can we, it need to be a reciprocal thing. So we figured out how to do these tiers and come up with ideas of whether it's Pops going shopping, me going record shopping, somehow creating this relationship with the audience,
the community.
Yeah, so doing something a little more because of what they're giving, and documenting the sessions and all of that. You know, I think what sold us all on doing the entire idea is when we did an EDM event in Miami, and somebody came to us and was like, yo, you guys need to do a Kickstarter. So of course I looked at both of them and was like, told you.
Right. Nice.
So, you know, but sometimes you got to hear it from an outside source, you know, for affirmation. And sure enough, it wrapped around Dave's mind a little bit, wrapped around Mercer's mind a little bit. I think also everybody got wind of what Spike Lee and Nelson George was doing as well with raising
money for
the docs they were doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, I'm telling you, man, this got us written all over it. You know what I mean? I'm like, look, this is an audience that actually just loves us. I'm like, B, we late to the party. It's really what's going on. I was like, what's going on with the internet and these nerds and the creators and all of that? Yo, they really are heavily into artistic value. I was like, B, and we, not to pat ourselves on the back, but we're a trusted source when it comes to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm
okay.
like, It's like, yo, it's a match made in heaven. And Dave was still kind of hung up on it, but it looked like we begging for money, Mace. I'm like, not if we approach this a certain way and start to look at the tiers of different things we start to think we can offer in what they're given.
So once you reach the finish line,
well, we superseded the finish line because we had looked to only raise about $130,000 and it ended up superseding to being like $600,000.
Would you want to do it again, or was it just like just one project at a time? And
I would love to do it again.
And okay,
I don't know what project. It would have to be something special, something I think more than an album,
Okay.
Something, I don't know, something maybe musical and visual,
All right, I have some nerdy, quick rapid fire things to ask before I wrap up the show. Who stole your Pathfinder in front of the studio?
I wish somebody could tell me, because I was.
Did you ever find?
Shit. Nope. I had to chuck it up, collect the insurance money, and ended up getting me a new
truck. And did that happen as you recording Fanatic of the B Word?
It was in that session, for real. It was a night session, Fanatic of the B, where everybody came up to the studio. I was in there. They all went to some club or whatever.
Damn.
All I know is I was in the studio, and I'll never forget Moni going, yo, where's your truck? She's like, because everybody knew I couldn't park my truck the way it sat up so high. I was sitting on 40s. Like, I really had off-roads, lights up top. So if it wasn't an outdoor parking lot,
right,
I couldn't park anywhere. I had to park on the street. So
did you just think it got towed away?
Yeah, I did think it may have gotten towed away. But once I contacted the towing, nah, my shit got stolen. And this was a year Nissan was getting stolen left and right. Yeah, so okay. I was like, I only had it all but 2.5 weeks. I was feeling myself. Come outside, and it was gone. And I was like,
damn.
Moni was like, what we gonna do? We gonna go to Heavy D's party. That's what we gonna do.
Still going without a ride.
Because I'm like, I knew I gotta take the train home at this point.
Right.
And the train is Long Island Railroad don't come back on until 5. So we gonna
go. Oh, so you go to stall
let's go to Hev party. And I gotta take the train home.
What are your 5 favorite De La Soul records?
Ooh, that's like saying what's your favorite child.
Right, and this includes the mixtapes and all those things.
Ooh.
Because I would have Impossible Mission inside my top 5, but go ahead.
Wow. I guess I could say the songs I do get excited about.
No, I'm talking about albums.
Oh, albums. Wow. Man, I gotta say right now, Cabin in the Sky, bro. Just the way it's hit me. Like, each one of them hit me differently. You know what I mean?
Is Cabin in the Sky the culmination of the long-rumored Primo and Pete Rock are going to do our records for us? Like, you just married the two together? Or?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Are there any songs left over that haven't?
No.
Okay.
No, I think you got everything.
Okay.
From the pre.
Are there any extra day verses that are just on ice for now until you?
I got something on ice.
Good.
Got a couple things on ice that I would love to consider for AOI 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
AOI 3 is still going to be a thing.
That's a thing.
Okay.
That's
cool.
happening. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, but all right. That's too much pressure to ask you your favorite. What is your favorite De La Soul album?
The first will always be. The first one will probably always be very special because it was
it saved your life.
Yeah, and it saved my life in so many ways. You know what I mean? I was still a virgin. You know what I mean?
Got you.
Like,
Pony Ride with the. How did that idea come to be?
That was Dave. Dave did Pony Ride.
Decided to sample him squishing the record every.
Yep, he sampled it just like that. You know how you the tap.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was him. All right.
He looped
that was
it just like that.
What 5 songs don't we know? In addition, when I asked the Me, Myself, and I question of you like helming it, What other 4 songs in the De La catalog did you helm that we might not be aware of?
Ego Tripping.
Okay. I know you did In the Woods, right?
In the Woods.
Okay.
Afro Connection.
That was you.
Yeah.
That is my favorite De La joint. You guys opened with that. When you did the De La Soul is Dead, that was your first song.
Mm-hmm.
And we were right next to the speakers, so it was just like we weren't expecting that level boombastic.
Bob Powers mixed that.
Okay, but I gotta ask, and I asked this to Paz. In 1991, no one in their right mind would even dare think of using Mustache James Brown as a sample source. This is like a B-side from the Get Up Off That Thing record, which, again, no hip-hop historian in that era would even think, yo, what made you see the gold in an otherwise unremarkable song? Like, you caught the best part. Ding, 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 ding.
I don't know. I just happened to hear it.
Like, you just like, oh, James Brown record, up for grab.
I think it was also what I was using at the time. So also I was using this 8-second guitar pedal.
Okay.
As a sampler.
Okay.
Yeah, it was my first real sampler.
Okay.
For real, and I had it. I actually learned this from Paul. You know, I had that locked in with a sequential tom.
A loop thing. My guitar player does the green box with the.
Yeah.
That's what you use?
That's what I use for Afro
Did someone just not teach you here? Here's a MPC 60.
Nah.
You learned through a guitar looper.
Yeah. First I started out pausing tapes. Then I graduated to the SK1, then the SK5.
Got you.
Then it was then I followed everything Paul was doing. And then, you know, I was doing what I can afford, pretty much. When I saw Paul, he had that pedal. And he had a sequential tom drum machine and a 8-track. I had a 4-track.
Okay.
And he showed me how to lay Simpty to the 4-track to get everything to trigger on time. Once he showed me how to lay Simpty, I was off to the races.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then anything after my first 2 or 3 samples that I got in time, then everything else was triggered. So that down, 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 down. That was because of what I was working with.
That's crazy. Like in my mind, I love hearing unorthodox methods of making hip hop records, in which no one is just sequencing on a drum machine, none of that stuff. Like you're figuring out ways to loop and stuff outside of the. All right.
Outside of what we eventually learned how to do.
Okay, my last 2 questions. How long did it take for you and Merce to really so we're doing this, like, for Dave? Like, how long did it take? Because, you know, I'll say that losing my manager, Rich, in 2014 really put a good 10-year pause on me and Tariq. Like, we did nothing without Rich's, what do you think? What do you think? And now it's like, oh, we got to be the adults in the room. And do we trust you? You know, so we had distractions to, and yes, it's still coming out. I'm sorry, the album's still coming. I know you guys think I'm bullshitting you now, but it's coming, I promise. But how long did it take to get over the anxiety of how do we restructure the show now? How do we turn this body of work into a full vision? Like, how long was it before? I don't want to know from beginning to end how it came together, but
I wrote on a lot of Pasha's strength. You know, him.
Was there a discussion like, hey, we're just going to end it right now, or?
No, it was, I was lost for a minute. No one could even really find me. He had to come. This is when I was living in Florida. He had to come to my house and really grab me out
He had
the
to
room.
literally find you.
Yeah.
How long did it take for you to process and mourn? Like how many months did you take off?
I'm still mourning, bro. I'm still mourning. You know what I mean? It hits me different every day. Like it hit me earlier today when I saw D. I cried earlier before you came in. Like actually when you was in here setting up, I saw D, and we can relate, obviously.
Right.
And he showed me his JMJ belt, and it broke me down. You know what I mean? Gotcha. So it hits me at different times. There's times I'm laughing a lot on the memories, and then I'm crying at times because of the memories. You know what I mean? And I miss my dude, man. I miss him. There's a life partner. It's probably the same feeling I'm gonna have if I lose my mom or my wife or somebody. You know what I'm saying? I'm never gonna get over that. The ride of the ups and downs. I miss everything. The arguments, everything. I miss them, man. You know what I mean?
Is it easy to? I'm glad you mentioned like the idea not of tension, but like in trying to convince him of Me, Myself, and I, or convince him of Kickstarter, or convincing of. I will say that I've been the passive member of the Roots. Don't like confrontation. Don't like dealing.
You like pause. Y'all are the same in that.
Well, no, I'll be. I don't know why I'm sharing this now. Like Reek and I really had a personal breakthrough 3 days ago, and I mean like 34 years under the belt. Just like, sound check. Let's make an album. All right, peace. See you tomorrow. And every time I get around you guys, and I'm like, damn, like you guys are still I always thought it was impossible for friends and business partners to even exist in one thing. Like, what happens when? And for me, it's always like, I don't like that beat, and like no matter how hard I worked on that shit, like weeks before, it's just like, okay, here it is. It's cool. And then you take it personal.
I know that feeling.
And then, right. And so, but I admire that. And like, for me, I just always wanted to know, like, how are you there for each other now that keeps you going?
We always been brothers, man. I mean, I think what people see now, you could. Stupid.
that also.
See us.
It's
very obvious,
I think that was the answer.
Yeah, that was the answer. That was the answer.
Did you get that?
What you see is very obvious, man.
One of y'all caught that.
We truly love each other, man. I think
that was perfect timing, Merce.
People could actually, I probably notice it more because we don't have Dave. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's a little bit more, I think, micro. People are paying attention to certain things. And I think the way we've been expressing our loss, there's something relatable there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My family, man, we've been through a lot, man. And it's all about how you come out on the other side. Family fight.
True.
It's a fact. But that's the testament of being family. You know what I'm saying? How you come out on the other side,
Yes.
It's always going to be some kind of conflict, some kind of confrontation. It's how you get through it, man.
Gotcha.
I'm a praying man. I pray, man. God is all I've had since my childhood. I lived in fight or flight, To have a friend like Kelvin Mercer is a blessing. You know what I mean?
True. My last question. At one point, ketchup was your angle, and then you lost it. Why'd you lose the ketchup angle?
High in sodium, your blood pressure issues.
Actually answering the... Look, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first of 3 behind the originals. Thank you, Levi's, for holding us down. Thank you, Maseo.
Yo, thank you, brother. I love you, man.
I love you too, man.
Levi, thank you for staying classic.
Yes.
Y'all are classic.
Yes. Thank you, Levi's, for doing this for us. And we will see you on the next go round. All right. Maceo, thank you.
I love you, bro.
Love you too.
Word up. Come on, man. Bring it in.
Well, I got old knees, so I
love this guy.
Thanks, man. And there you have it. Maseo. Man, myth, legend, correct on all counts. One of the best laughs in the game. That's episode 1 of this very special Behind Every Original Run with Levi's. I want you to keep your eyes peeled to the feed. And we'll be back soon with another legendary artist who did it their own way. The Questlove Show is hosted by me, Amir Questlove Thompson. The executive producers are Sean G., Brian Calhoun, and me. Produced by Brittany Benjamin and Jake Payne. Produced for iHeart by Noel Brown. Edited by Alex Conroy. iHeart video support by Mark Canton. Logos, graphics, and animation by Nick Paloe. Additional support by Lance Coleman. Special thanks to Kathy Wrong. Special thanks to Sugar Steve Mandel. Please subscribe, rate, review, and share the Questlove Show wherever you stream your podcast. Make sure you follow us on socials. That's at QLS. Check out hundreds and hundreds of QLS episodes, including the Questlove Supreme shows and our podcast archives. Questlove Show is a production of iHeartRadio.